Welcome
Welcome
to Sleepdrunk.
to Sleepdrunk, where we had to clear our search history because we were looking at pressure cookers. Hey guys, welcome to episode 1 of Sleepdrunk. It's a big moment for us. I'd say we put a lot of time and effort into making this happen. What do you guys think?
Yes, we did. Episode 1. This took about a week of preparation.
Yeah, I'd say a solid
actual
week.
preparation.
Yeah, actual preparation. I was going to say, technically, we've been working on this for a while now, but I'd say most of the work started... When did we get the mic? Friday.
Yeah,
Friday.
Yeah, we had to get the website up, do some socials, a number of socials, mess around with email backends. That was fun. I'm sure you'd like to say, Alex.
Not the emails, the server in general. Like, if anyone has worked with cron jobs, you'll know my pain. I still don't have it working. I don't understand. And this is why I'm gonna alienate all the Linux users.
Do it.
What's a Linux?
I can't stand Linux. Like, it has its purpose, and I understand that, but, like, do it better.
Yeah.
Like, I'm completely fine with it literally runs on a command line unless you tell it to not. But, like, cron jobs? Seriously? Come on.
But there's a spectrum from, like, Linux to Mac OS of the amount of user control and granularity. Mac OS, you have very little control. In Linux, you can do whatever you want. But, like...
I guess that's true.
It's freedom, and, like, too much freedom is bad. What I'm saying is I advocate authoritarianism.
Sir, you live in America.
So what I'm saying is I want President Xi, with the help of Chairman Mao, to invade on the Pacific coast, bring in the tanks, and establish authoritarianism in America.
All right, Alavi, I'm going to have to ask you to chill out there with the communism.
Sounds like communist propaganda.
Okay. So this episode is going to be the general model for episodes to come. So we're going to start off with the updates in our lives since the last recording. And then we'll start off with the first topic of discussion, which we don't really have one for this episode because, time reasons. And then we'll move right into the main topic and finish off with the last discussion. So let's get right into it with Mike's Minute.
Hey guys, welcome to Mike's Minute. This is going to be my chance to just talk about what happened over the past week, and actually it's been pretty chill. I skipped a lot of my morning classes this week. I just couldn't wake up that early. You guys ever have that? You just wake up one morning and it's just a no. Because I really don't feel like waking up at 7:30.
Michael, you do realize that this is a one-way method of communication, and they can't respond unless they tweet us at SleepdrunkPC.
Well, maybe this gives us a great chance to plug our Twitter. Follow us on Twitter at SleepdrunkPC. And
return to Mike's Minute?
Yeah, let's return to Mike's Minute. Since class didn't really happen last week, I didn't have too much to do. Made a big step forward in my relationship. Met my girlfriend's parents. That was a big milestone, gotta say. So yeah, things are going smooth in that department, and life's been going.
We'll move on to Alex's abstract unit of time. It is quite an abstract unit of time from upload to upload.
But how much time is that in football fields?
I'll say it's about 7.
Okay.
7 football fields
That's
of
a good
time.
amount of time.
This is me when I have time. This past week has been the first little bit where all my professors are like, hey, let me ram my midterms right in your ass. So, Michael's eyebrows twitching.
They are twitching.
That seems really,
Like
really
a
aggressive
lot.
there, Alex.
Well, these midterms are really, really aggressive, so it's not my fault.
Listeners, his eyebrows are twitching so much.
Let me pull it here. It means you're dehydrated.
Is that what that means?
According to her, as he takes the last drop out of his cup. So, I started off last week with a physics midterm. It was a whopping 4 questions. I think it went pretty well. Physics isn't that hard. Basically, I took the class in high school already, so it's not that much of a change. And then we moved on to my Valentine appearing on Valentine's Day last Thursday. Him and two of my other friends came up to visit me on their way to an anime convention. Makes me want to die. Why do I hang out with them?
I don't know.
And they stopped in for a little bit, saw the whole college gang, and then made off with my microphone here that we're using that he promised to give me, and another package that my mom sent me because mail is expensive and time consuming. So he promised to come by the next morning, even though he already told me that he would come by that night. They're great, reliable people. And after I saw him, we had a weekend of preparing this podcast.
Yep.
We did, in fact, prepare this podcast.
It was very prepared.
It was
So prepared.
So prepared. Oh, yeah.
Really, really prepared. Like,
Really.
so prepared we may or may not have shot like a whole backup first episode just in case.
If by...
By shooting a backup episode, you mean a failed take?
And then we finished it off today, I guess, with all the notable things to... Oh, no, I forgot about Monday.
Monday.
Housing.
That's true.
Do we mention housing? Monday, housing really did it to us, if you will. They did it to us bigly. So we had some plans in place, and housing just sort of didn't like them. They just gave us a big fat no, and then we said, hey, that's not how this works. And they said no. And that's about it.
Even though they told us that that was in fact how it worked, but it didn't work like that.
Right. Misinformation is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, and so we are now on hold and kind of screwed until April or May.
Or early summer.
Yes, early summer.
Air quotes,
as in
early summer.
The middle of spring. But
thanks, housing.
But it's like when you think about it, like really, we're just in really, really late summer, like right now, as it's about to snow heavily on us.
Yeah, we're just like
really late in summer.
It's just really, really late summer.
Yeah.
Thanks. Oh God. Today I had my wonderful calculus exam with none other than Kevin Wolf.
That's not his real name.
That's not his real name. That is his alias for the purposes of this show. And I don't want to talk about that. So moving on to Alavi's anecdotes.
Yes, welcome to Alavi's Anecdotes, the bit in the podcast where I talk about my life in the past week. And I guess since last recording, but I'll stick it to a week because I'm sure you guys don't want to hear about my insane, incredible life where so much epic stuff happened, such as living in a house.
Shit.
That's pretty epic.
In the past week...
You're just flexing on all those homeless people out there.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. So in the past week, it's been relatively uneventful aside from the whole housing debacle, which occurred Friday through Monday. I had a calculus test, much like Alex, except it was earlier. For mine, it was on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. With my wonderful teacher, let's just call him Joseph Hart.
I like that one a lot better than the last one.
Yeah, Joseph Hart. Originally, I was going to call him something Leibniz, because Leibniz is the father of calculus, but Joseph Hart is better.
Joseph Hart is a lot better for
Joseph,
reasons.
Joseph the Hot, which I'll explain at some point, Hart, because he's hot. No homo. I had that test. That test went okay. There were some concepts I didn't really get, but I worked with what I could, did what I could. I think I did okay. Valentine's Day happened. Nothing happened for me then, unlike a certain someone whose name starts with M and ends with Eichel.
Oh, do I have to mention that I made a very, very nice romantic Valentine's Day dinner?
Yes, and me and Alex were considering making it even more romantic by approaching and engaging in Mongolian throat singing to really set the atmosphere, call the horses, let the horde know it's time to ride,
and heal him, because that is also something that it does.
Yes, because as you know, throat singing. Throat singing is it heals. It makes you more attractive. 2 out of 3 women prefer throat singing men, according to some site online. I don't know. It's probably fake.
Wait, you actually read that online?
Yes, on friendsoftuva.com.
Oh boy.
Yes, Friends of Tuva, all of your throat singing needs. But that happened. We didn't do it.
I'm sure it's a really, really scholarly article.
Yeah, absolutely. It's peer reviewed. It's been run.
the whole gamut.
The whole 9 yards. Yes. And speaking of 9 yards, how many football fields in am I into the segment?
If you're 9 yards in, that's 9/100ths of a football field.
But like the whole 9 yards, and that's beside the point. Football fields are a unit of time. Prove me wrong. Well, other than that, I guess I met with a person who I may or may not be seeing. Hung out for a bit. That was nice. Other than that, not that much has happened. I had my nighttime econ class with Michael, where we learned about arson and trade barriers and other things involving economics, because I'm an economics major.
I feel like you would make great friends with what's a generic Italian last name that starts with R.
Parmigiano Reggiano.
I feel like you would make great friends with Reggiano.
Just call him Ravioli.
Our econ teacher's Italian.
I feel like you would make great friends with Ravioli because the amount of insane that you come out of his class saying he said, just, it sounds like you.
He said, yeah, he's an interesting person. I respect him a lot. I disagree with him on certain economic aspects, but he's a great lecturer. A bit of a tough grader. I had him last semester for microeconomics, but
I mean, there's nothing wrong with healthy debate.
Yeah, no, of course, I'm all for it. Other than that, it's been a pretty low-key week. We're anticipating a pretty big snowstorm where we're at on the East Coast, so that's gonna be nice. Got tomorrow off. Gonna relax, rest.
You're gonna relax, study, chill. To those low-key, lo-fi hip-hop beats.
Yeah, lo-fi hip-hop beats to relax / chill / sleep / study / game / front / //2. And that about concludes Alavi's anecdotes. So
It about concludes? Does it? Does it actually conclude?
And no, it does.
All right, that's good. All right.
The about concludes, and then the actual conclusion happened when I said it concludes.
All right, so topic of discussion 1, skip this for this episode.
In future episodes, we'll have another topic here, something interesting. If you want to submit something, you can tweet us at SleepdrunkPC on Twitter.
This is filler text.
Bottom text.
That it doesn't say that in the show notes. I'm confused. Where are you reading this?
Okay, so I guess on to the second, I guess.
The main topic of discussion
for tonight.
Alavi, you have had something that came to you someday. You just suddenly became enlightened, just like the Buddha. Okay. And
I mean, I'm brown, so
you're basically the Buddha.
I got the weight. Well, actually, no,
he was skinny as
he was really skinny. You're right. I was the other guy. Beside the point. This
phenomenon came to you, and you were very enthusiastic about it. So let's hear it.
Okay, so this all happened to me around 2 a.m. Michael was in the room. We are roommates.
I had to listen to all of it go down. Listen, guys. It's something. It's something living with this guy.
I'm sure it is, Michael. Now, this happened around 2 a.m. I was getting ready for bed, really in bed, trying to go to sleep. I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts, Cortex, by Mike Curley and CGP Grey. Here's free advertising. If you want to collab with us, just let me know. Email me at alavi@sleepdrunk.net.
Oh, you're desperate.
I am very desperate. I love those guys. Well, so I was listening to them, and Gray, one of the hosts, said, "Merry Groundhog's Day." And I was thinking, we put a lot of stock in Punxsutawney Phil, a groundhog which lives in a town in Pennsylvania, a rodent with a very small brain that may or may not have object permanence. And I was thinking, how can one such as Punxsutawney Phil have the power to determine the length of a season, a fundamental aspect of Earth, something that is almost divine in nature? The answer is, he doesn't. If I shot Punxsutawney Phil right now, if I filled his den with mustard gas and then, lit it on fire with thermite.
This is so violent.
I think this is a war crime, Alavi.
The length of the seasons would not change. The length of the seasons are determined by the atmosphere and like pressure, oceanic currents, the trade winds, distance from the sun. All these things impact. Also the moon too, because like tidal patterns.
Okay, the moon.
Distance from the sun.
How about the orbit of the Earth around the sun? Like the main one.
Yes,
that was never mentioned.
I know I said the distance. I said the distance of the Earth in relation to the sun.
It's not the distance,
but like the orbit.
It's the orientation of our axis.
But also like
in
the Earth
relation
gets farther
to the orbit,
because we're on a slight ellipse.
Relatively, but it's not really that causes it though.
But
because
also still a positional
while
thing.
we experience here in the northern hemisphere as would say we're in winter right now, the southern hemisphere has summer because the axis is facing in the wrong way.
Axis. Well, it's these fundamental things, not fucking groundhog. So at that moment, I resolved to tear down this false god known as Punxsutawney Phil. I will, and this is true, on Groundhog's Day, shoot Punxsutawney Phil in front of the world, probably get arrested, but it's worth it because I am freeing America. I'm freeing the world from the yoke of tyranny that is placed by the false god Punxsutawney Phil. Prove me wrong.
That's a threat. So I have a couple of points on this. So first of all, you are basically not only tearing down Punxsutawney Phil, you're tearing down any sort of other religions, I guess, that could claim some related things. Like, I don't know, like, even if that's not really existent in today's world, like Zoroastrianism.
Zoroastrianism still has has a decent following. It still exists.
Well, I guess.
It exists.
It's the oldest monotheistic religion.
Yeah, you're throwing all of them into the ground.
No, here's the thing.
Oh,
right?
really? You have
because they don't give you specified units of time. It's not 6 weeks. It is not an exact measurement. It is a general notion. It is a general notion of, it will be longer, it'll be shorter, it is controlled. That is a more abstract thing, not if a rodent looks at a shadow, oh no, early spring, 6 weeks, I forgot which way it goes, but still, that the point is...
If he sees the shadow, then supposedly winter will last for another 6 weeks.
Yes. But the point is, Punxsutawney Phil is not clairvoyant. He cannot see into the future. He cannot see and think, hey, it's gonna be cold for the 6 weeks, time for me to turn my head. He probably doesn't even know what turning his head is or means. He can do it. I hope he can do it. If he can't, I'd be very, very sad. That's a bad existence. But he does not, willingly know, okay, time to turn my head. He can't tell this. He's an animal. He does it because, hey, I felt like it. He was like, you know what? Might as well turn my head. Why not? I don't have any rationale for anything because I lack sentience because I'm a groundhog.
All right, and then my second point, it was not his choice. Okay, so I learned from you the last take that he is claimed to have always been since a certain time in the 1800s. I actually researched this. But,
of course you did.
He's a groundhog, and groundhogs have an average lifespan of 6 years. Another thing that I researched. Okay, I've collected my notes.
Short.
It is short. It's surprisingly short. So obviously he has a bloodline because, as I would sure hope that they don't just go randomly select groundhogs and just pick them out of the wild to do this. I'm sure they breed them. But let me just get to the head of my little point here. This was not his choice. This is a concept made up by the people of Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, that just decided that we are going to make this tradition that involves holding a groundhog up and having him see his shadow. It isn't his fault. He doesn't want to be there. All he wants to do is just go be a goddamn groundhog and just exist in the wild. He doesn't want to do this. It's not his fault. Don't blame Punxsutawney Phil.
But you know where he could be in the wild and do groundhog for the rest of time? In the groundhog afterlife where I'm about to send him.
Alavi. Let me just say, Punxsutawney Phil's already doing groundhog. What do groundhogs do besides dig a hole and eat corn?
I don't know, not get picked up by some dude and told to, like, be clairvoyant?
That's true, but let me counter with this. Who actually takes Punxsutawney Phil seriously?
Too many people.
Nobody raised their hand here.
Nobody raised their hand.
Yeah, but the point is, even if the slightest inkling of possibility is kept, even if the slightest seed of pseudoscientific belief exists, they're not even pseudoscientific, just kind of like fanciful belief, should be extinguished.
So
Alavi, he's a tourist trap for a small town in Pennsylvania that wants to have their chance to shine once a year.
But
this is paying people's rents, Alavi. Punxsutawney Phil puts money in their pockets.
But, you know,
pays people's rents, puts roofs over people's heads. By killing him, you're killing their lifestyle. Are you okay with that?
But you know what? They need economic diversity. They're way too reliant on a single method of income generation. It's like if you put all of your stock into one company and that company goes under, you're f***ed. So, like, they have to divert. Like, instead of going for investing in that one trendy Silicon Valley startup your friend told you about that's totally legit and totally profitable, and yes, we can incorporate AI into cat toys.
Bitcoin.
Instead of investing in BitConnect, you go for the S&P 500. It's what Warren Buffett did. There's an episode on Planet Money. You should check it out. It's interesting. But, like, instead of investing in BitConnect, woo!
It's quiet hours.
Well, it is.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
Instead of investing in BitConnect, you invest in the S&P 500, get an average rate of return, do good, but be consistent. Consistent, diverse income is the road to prosperity, and Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania isn't there. Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania could be the next New York City. Okay?
No, they couldn't. They don't have waterfront access.
They don't have waterfront access, you're right.
Also, so I want to jump back to one of your pieces of logic. So you said that because there's there could possibly be an inkling of a following that he deserves to die. So basically applying that logic to a really common phenomenon here in the States amongst Christians. Every child that believes in Santa needs to die.
Yes. I'm kidding, no.
I've got no words. That just kind of... Wow.
No, okay, because here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. After, like... First off, Santa's an abstraction.
Alavi's declared war on Santa Claus.
It's a war on Christmas.
You're the
retribution of Islam.
You're the one Fox News has been yelling about these past couple of years,
Yes,
Alavi. It's all you.
Tucker Carlson hates me.
Tucker Carlson.
Big Tuck. He's gonna come out here 1v1 me. Okay, no. But
God,
see,
I
here's the
hate
thing.
Tucker
Him and his interviews, like he just dives way too deep. Like, dude, let him talk.
Yeah, let him talk.
Tucker Carlson's face, first of all.
First off, y'all should let me talk.
Well, that's just rude to talk about people's appearances. Like, there's plenty of media out there that I hate, but I don't,
But, like, his expression whenever he has an interview, he just looks
kind of looks dead inside, not constipated. He just has a straight face.
That's not a straight face.
It's just like, I existing?
I don't know. I mean, Tucker Carlson has a punchable
Is life
face.
real? He does. I'm not saying he doesn't, but it's not like constipated.
Because, like, he's no Anderson Cooper. Anderson Cooper's hot.
No, he isn't.
Yeah, he is. Anderson Cooper's hot.
I would not f- Anderson Cooper.
Yeah, but, like, with the no homo and the socks.
That's a quote.
With the no homo and the socks. Hold up.
Alavi, what if I told you there's cancel out?
But, like, they don't. It's compounding. It's like a power. If there's a power to a power, and they multiply. Look at that.
So you're comparing him.
Look at that. Look at that.
So you're comparing him to Joseph Hart.
Viewers, I'm showing him a picture of Anderson Cooper right now. Or listeners, I should say.
So are you going to compare? Are you going to compare him?
Look
his
at
mouth.
that.
His mouth looks like a duck beak.
It does, but look at that.
So you're going to compare him to Joseph Hart.
Okay, who would you rather get? Who would you rather get?
In that photo, Tucker Carlson looks like he is
Fine.
pushing out a mighty.
How about this?
But I'm gonna write down, save a link to that. We'll put a link to this photo we're speaking of in the show
set
notes.
of photos. We'll put it in the show notes.
We'll also put the one of Anderson Cooper.
Yeah, and you can tweet us at Sleepdrunk PC. Who would you rather have sex with? No homo. Unless you are gay. If you're gay, that's all good. We don't discriminate.
Which constipated-looking news anchor is more bonable?
Okay. What was I even talking? Okay, like I was saying, so Santa, right? So like with Santa, he provides economic value for the entire country. There's a lot more riding on Santa. And even without Santa, like as a society, we're still economically diverse. Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania doesn't have that. They don't have a Santa. They have a groundhog. Well, it's like if let me finish. If there was a groundhog under my deck eating at my like fiber optic cables for my epic gigabit internet, which I don't have, I would shoot it. I mean, I wouldn't shoot it. I'd call animal control to have them remove it. But if someone were to shoot it, then no one would bat an eye. Someone would be like, oh, that kind of sucks for the groundhog. But no one would be mad. If I shot Punxsutawney Phil, people would be mad. And that's a problem because all groundhogs are created equal.
But he has a house. He has a permanent residency.
Yeah, exactly. He's the 1% of groundhogs.
He's a domesticated groundhog.
He's the King George of groundhogs.
You're like shooting somebody's dog, only it has bigger front teeth.
There's some dogs with some pretty big front teeth, man. There's some dogs with some big front teeth. I've seen some big front teeth on dogs. Maybe not that big, but still pretty big.
But the point still stands here. You're shooting a dog.
But like, he's not a dog, he's a groundhog.
But he's a domesticated groundhog, so
he's
a pet. You're shooting somebody's pet.
Is he though? Even here's the thing, okay, domestication is an actual genetic phenomenon that involves the change of certain phenotypes to better correspond with human needs, okay? Punxsutawney's phenotypic makeup has not changed significantly only because he hasn't had that much time. A domesticated dog, that is the same thing as a gray wolf genetically. Like, they are the same species, but phenotypically, in terms of temperament and appearance, they are very distinct. That is domestication.
But how do you know his phenotype mutations haven't been better weather prediction?
Because that's not a gene. There's no allele for that.
But what if there is?
But like there isn't. We have the groundhog gene sequenced.
Hasn't proven it yet, but
we have the groundhog gene sequenced. I can look it up. I can go on NCBI and look it up.
There's like all those crazy stories from like people out in the Midwest, how their animals predicted the weather, predicted some storm or something.
Actually, he's got a point there. So dogs have this really weird ability to predict earthquakes before anyone else. So I remember there was this video online that I saw a while ago that was demonstrating it. It was like security camera footage from your typical 9-to-5 office. And this guy brought his dog to work for some reason. And they're all just chilling there being 9-to-5ers. And then suddenly the dog just like freaks out. And it bolts. And then 30 seconds later, like, the camera starts shaking and files start violently falling off the cabinet, and then everyone else starts fleeing the building.
Okay, so I have a counter to that, okay? So for those of you who don't know, earthquakes are when the Earth's platey boys move around, okay? And so when the plates move, there is an initial tremor that's more difficult to detect. But, like, you can wind up to it, which is how, like people who study earthquakes, I don't know what the formal term is.
I'm not saying that has anything to do with the weather. I'm just bringing it up because it's interesting.
That's fair. That is fair. That it is interesting. What was I saying? Crap.
Maybe there's some pressure wave or some sort of sensation of the Earth's axis beginning to move back into place.
Okay, the
pressure exists. Pressure is a component for storm systems. They go to lower pressure areas, but
just storm systems.
But that's just storm systems, not seasons.
The Earth's axis doesn't actually change.
Oh, that's true. It's just in relation to the sun.
Well, there is wobble and it affects time.
It's very slight.
It's very slight, and it's like fractions of a second.
For those of you who don't know, Michael isn't a STEM major.
I'm not a STEM major. I'm a gov major. I know a lot about philosophy and governments and voting.
So in other words, he's the kind of person that us STEM majors work so he can do his thing. So we keep society running.
You would agree with me on the statement that first past the post voting systems are bad.
Oh yes, very much.
Okay. Just had to get that clear.
Okay. What was I saying? I'm not even sure what I was saying anymore.
We have gotten so far down the rabbit hole with Punxsutawney Phil. He's gotten us so stirred up that we have lost our train of thought.
Okay, well, the point is...
And he's a goddamn groundhog. I think he is, in fact, supernatural.
No, but supernatural is my desire to kill him.
Oh, God.
Because he will die by my hand. Mark my words, next Groundhog Day, there will be a crack and a whiz and a dead groundhog. And many sad people.
And a pressure cooker.
Oh, yeah, I might put a bomb in it just to be safe, have some redundancy. Like, in case I miss, they scatter, they put them back in the burrow, come in later with the mustard gas, the napalm, the anthrax. Something nice and light, get the job done quick.
And I want to finish this off with a statement to the NSA. We are not we are not terrorists. We do not plan on killing Punxsutawney Phil. We do not condone planning to kill Punxsutawney Phil.
I do.
Let alone doing it.
I do.
All right, Alavi.
Alavi, the FBI is already on its way, bud.
Hey guys, hi agent. I know you're the one that watches my phone. How are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. I hope you're having a good time. Hope you had a good Valentine's Day, Mr. FBI agent that's watching my phone, because I know you are.
Could be Mrs.
Mrs. I'm sorry, yes. I'll say individual who works at the FBI and was watching my phone. Hope you had a good Christmas, a good holiday. If you celebrate Christmas, if you don't, I hope you had a good holiday, maybe Hanukkah.
Kwanzaa.
Yes, Kwanzaa. Yeah, hope you're having a good time. Yeah.
Maybe they celebrated Festivus.
They might have celebrated Festivus for the rest of us. And for people like me, who have their religious holiday in the summer. It's called Eid, okay? For the next, I think, 25 years or something. For those of you who don't know, Eid, the Muslim big religious holiday, it is on a lunar calendar, so it just kind of moves throughout the year. And yeah, so right now it's in the summer. I think in a certain interval of time it'll be in the winter, which is going to be nice because fasting. Because in Islam, when you fast, you just kind of don't eat while the sun's up or drink. And it'll make it a lot easier. But yeah, I guess that basically wraps up the Punxsutawney Phil discussion. He will die by my hand, and it will be violent. Moving on. So
nothing happened.
So today's episode is sponsored by Squarespace. Just kidding, we're not. If you want to sponsor us, email me at alavi@sleepdrunk.net. And moving into the final segment of today's show, this segment is just going to be a kind of more general discussion on a topic that is set for the day. And today's topic, I chose it, and it's just about the presence of podcasts in our lives and kind of how that impacted us starting a podcast. So I guess I'll start since it was my idea, if that's fine with you guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I didn't start formally listening to podcasts specifically as a medium until around Thanksgiving 2016, I want to say. I had a really long drive to a place for Thanksgiving, and during the long ride, I wanted something to listen to, and I remember hearing about Cortex, which I'm sure you've heard me mention a number of times throughout the episode, and I decided I'd download a couple episodes and give it a listen, and it just really appealed to me. And I think this is a big part because of what happened to me while I was growing up. So my father got me into NPR when I was really young, National Public Radio. If you're outside the US, it's a radio station that has interesting content. And so I remember when I was younger...
And it's run by... It's like one of the only socialized services here in the United States of America.
Yes, it is. Although it is quite successful, actually.
Yes, actually.
It's a wonderful service.
Not the post office.
Not the post office. But so... I remember shows like Planet Money, 1A. This is a DC Pacific show called the Kojo Nandi Show, which is quite interesting. And I think just spoken word in general really takes me back to when it was just me and my father would go on a drive together. Like my younger brother and my mom weren't there. It was just the two of us. I get to sit in the front seat. I was young at the time. But I get to sit in the front seat and I could just, like, we'd listen to NPR together. We'd talk about it, talk about the news, things like that. It made me feel really grown up at the time. And just kind of now, like, in this day and age, nowadays, being able to have that same sort of experience with spoken word is just something kind of impactful to me. And it's something that I kind of want to contribute, as I do with a lot of things. And I just felt that this would be a nice way for me to do it because I have two co-hosts, wonderful, wonderful co-hosts, who...
Well, thank you, Alavi.
Thank you, Alavi. Very cool.
That being said, Michael is a prostitute. But... and so I think that's just kind of what got me here, is just that feeling from my youth of being a child and it impacting me today. And yeah, that's kind of been podcasts in my life.
All right. I'll take it, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So I don't really have anything too extensive to talk about. I always, as a kid, had... I wasn't ADD, but I didn't have the attention span to care about talk radio or anything related to that. So, and that was boring. So I never naturally felt attracted to podcasts or anything. Like, I knew that they existed, and I would always have to call my mom out for using the word podcast in the complete wrong instances. I'm sure you guys have dealt with that as well.
Give us an example for the sake of the listeners.
Like, any sort of internet stream. Like, it could be video stream. She would call that a podcast. Like, no, that's not what that is.
If I may interject, I have a far worse example. Quick context, my mother's first language is not English. That being said, she is quite fluent. And to quote her, podcasts are a type of Facebook. So take with that what you will.
That's bad.
Sorry, Mom, if you're listening to this, but yeah.
So my first experience listening to podcasts was last summer, 2018. I started listening to Welcome to Night Vale. I don't really remember why. I think I heard it referenced somewhere, and I knew that it existed, and I thought, that sounds like interesting, because I still had the mindset and apathy for serious talk, so I thought, okay, well, so let's make it a fictional story. That sounds entertaining. So I listened to Welcome to Night Vale. I absolutely loved it. It's a wonderful podcast. It's just a great story. In case you don't know what it's about, it is from the perspective of a community radio news anchor in a fictional town where nothing is as it should be in the desert. And I got into it, and then, I find that I only listen to podcasts when I have a lot of time, and I ran out of time because of work and college and other things, so I stopped listening to it, even though I would love to go back. And then we got here to college, and Alavi and Michael and I have some insane conversations, and we thought we could make a podcast out of this. So we did, and after that, I guess I've started listening to some others, and I've heard Alavi rave about Cortex, and I have started listening to it myself. It's good. It's a little slow in the beginning, but according to him, it speeds up a little bit.
I mean, to be fair, Cortex, it's kind of for a very specific audience. It's for very technically oriented people who are oriented towards things like work and productivity, and that's why I like it, and that's why I thought Alex would like it, because that's the kind of person he is.
Yes, I am indeed very technically oriented. But I'm currently listening to that and Welcome to Night Vale, and those are the only two that I have ever listened to, and that's my only experience with this so far. So we'll move on to Michael now.
Okay, so when I was a kid, my first brush with podcasts was always listening to sports talk radio in the car with my dad on the drive home from school or wherever I was, baseball, activities, that sort of thing. He would always throw on sports talk radio, and I'd listen to it. It was great because I loved hearing about, all my favorite sports stars as a kid, and it really helped me connect with my hobbies a little bit. And as I grew older, that same sort of effect really, really took hold. I developed a big passion for movies and entertainment. I love watching and reviewing movies. So I started listening to entertainment podcasts and movie reviews just because I love movies and I love seeing what other people have to say about movies.
Welcome back to Michael's movie review. Today we're going to be taking a look at The Room.
The Room it's cinema.
It is
of a type.
It is a moving frame.
I thought you were going to be one of those people that tries to defend The Room. Like, there's some real artistic quality there. No, there isn't.
There really isn't. It's so bad, but it's so bad that it's good.
You know what's better in the same way?
What?
Birdemic.
Oh my god.
Here's the thing, so
it was a film. It was produced, and it unfortunately had a budget.
Cameras captured actors delivering dialogue on sets. I think that about sums up these two movies.
I mean, to be fair though, they are both outside the valley of mediocrity.
They are. Like, Alavi and I were talking about this yesterday. What's worse for a movie? To be forgettably mediocre or to be really bad?
Honestly, you have a point there. I feel like I would rather spend my time watching a movie that's so laughably bad that I enjoy watching it than... What's an example here of
I'm getting one. After Earth.
After Earth.
After Earth. I saw that movie.
Did you?
I have not.
I did. My mom bought it on DVD for a road trip one time. She was like, "Oh man, this movie has Will Smith in it.
All right, let's throw
Has
this.
to be good.
Let's throw this
Let's
into
throw it
the
on,
Odyssey AV player.
It was a Sienna at the time."
Oh, my bad. Oh, wow.
Yeah, we watched After Earth.
How would you rate it?
I can't say I think about that movie.
Okay, how would you compare it in terms of food? Like, what kind of food is After Earth? Like, is it like a flambé duck? Is it like an open week-old can of chunky clam chowder?
For some background, Michael loves duck.
I love duck.
He loves duck.
It is the quarter pounder with cheese of movies.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the uncooked pasta. Because, like,
Or just like
it
rice.
is mediocre. Or, yeah,
Just plain rice.
I can appreciate plain rice because at least it's cooked. Uncooked pasta is hard to eat. It doesn't really give you any value because it takes forever to eat. And it's something you hate. And it's not a good way at all.
we
Like,
go.
there are some foods that are laughably bad. Are there?
Okay, look, I think here's an example, right?
It's the canned soup of movies.
Yes.
Who enjoys a can of soup?
Okay. Progresso, the soup with the
Like,
barley,
yeah,
you heat that
there's-
up.
There's high-end soup that, yeah, that's good, I'll buy that. But it's expensive. But, like, I'm talking just, like,
Progresso
generic...
isn't that expensive. Progresso's good.
Progresso,
Okay, and then there's
Campbell's soup.
and then there's the Panera Bread soup that you can go buy in the deli section. That's
That's not canned.
You can
not-
buy Panera
it-
Bread
it-
soup?
yes. I
didn't
do
know
it all
that.
the time. It's the
Huh.
you can get broccoli cheddar and you can get I think it's just called like baked potato soup or something, but they're both really good.
See, when I go to Panera, I always get salad because, like, their Southwest chili lime ranch with chicken salad is so good. And Panera, if you want to pay us for the salad, feel free. You don't have to.
Alavi,
Like your
stop.
food.
This is just desperate.
Okay, but
You sound like every 13-year-old starting up their Minecraft gaming channel, and you're like, and any potential sponsors out there, if you want to hit me up.
hey guys, welcome to Alavi Games 32.
And now for the dubstep outro.
We should put on a dubstep
You
outro.
should not.
We're putting on a dubstep outro. But see, I feel like there's some foods that, like, it's like the cheese from Diver Wimpy Kid. It's like, it's so disgusting. You just kind of want to look at it. Like, you look at it out of, like, a gross, like,
In
curiosity.
awe of how gross it is.
Yeah, it's just from, like, a gross curiosity. And then there's, like,
You know the
flambe
size of the
duck.
lad.
Hold on, this man just referenced Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Can we take a moment to appreciate the fact that those books happened?
They're still happening, for better or worse.
They're really still happening?
They were not a part of my childhood, but I was aware of them. That is all.
They're still happening. Let me look this up.
I didn't pay attention to the media as a kid. I just didn't care.
I did. I tried to be cool in elementary school.
Yep.
I tried to be cool in elementary school.
Diver Wimpy Kid, The Meltdown, 2018. Where?
Same art.
Same art.
Dude, they're really still going.
I mean, but it's like, there's a lot of things that are still going, like The Simpsons.
Yeah, but The Simpsons has been going on for so long
They have to keep
because
it
of its
going.
history. Like,
That's fair.
It was the pinnacle of animated TV during the 90s.
That is true. Although I always liked Futurama more, but like...
That's true.
Futurama.
Futurama was great.
Futurama
It burned
was so
bright and it burned quick.
I didn't watch it that much, but I did. That is one of the few shows that I remember watching as a kid.
See, I binge watched Futurama like right during its last season. Like after the second
Oh, you're
last
probably one of
episode.
those rich Netflix boys. My mom didn't pay for that.
No, I watched it on Netflix on my 3DS.
I watched it on
That existed.
Whoa.
That exists.
It exists.
Oh God.
I watched it on Netflix on my 3DS and I loved it.
See, I just watched it on Xfinity on demand. Like a
Oh, you
normal,
rich boy.
basic cable.
Giving Comcast, giving
Giving
Cupcast
Comcast
all them
money.
dollars.
Cast, miss me with
A
that.
message for Comcast. You.
Yeah, Comcast.
Please give me a better rate on my cable, Comcast. It's killing my family.
Michael,
Please
switch to Verizon.
renegotiate with county so that you don't have the monopoly.
Yeah, Comcast. There. Michael, just switch to FiOS. It's like Verizon may be a bit on the pricey side, but they are very stable and give you quality.
Well, if blank county is anything like other blank county, then you can't.
I can. In my part of blank county,
That is very fortunate.
I should be able to get FiOS, but if you say it's on the pricey side, Alavi, the whole reason we're looking for better options than Comcast
But also
is because we don't want the pricey option.
But also, like, Comcast, like, Verizon's budget option is probably going to be better than your current Comcast package. Like, how old is your Comcast package? How long have you had it? That's the answer. You should
Well,
renegotiate
also-
your cable every few years, because they have new packages.
Under the levels of hate, well, okay, so we have the list of levels of hate for companies. Number one, top of the charts, is Comcast. Then there's Verizon, right under it.
But, like, above Comcast is
But-
Cambridge.
That's not a cable company.
But, like, is it?
Because telecoms are the most hated companies in
They are,
America.
they are.
Besides, well, actually,
Besides
no,
Bank of America.
besides
People hate Bank
people
of America.
hate Bank of America. I kind of dislike Bank of America. I'm a Bank of
SunTrust
America
gang.
customers. I am a customer.
Bank of America bought SunTrust.
No, they didn't. It was
BB&T
BB&T.
merged.
Oh, yep, it was BB&T.
They
It was
merged.
the other B bank.
BBB. Big Boys Bank.
Triple B bonds.
Damn, that's...
But like Bank of America's kind of. I'm gonna be honest. I have an account with them. They love maintenance fees. Oh boy, they love them.
You just
Also-
not have an account minimum?
I do have an account minimum, but I don't have to worry about that right now because I am a student right now, and they actually ask me when I will the month that I will graduate so that they can take that right away. And
Good old Bofa.
they lied to me when I first signed up for my account. They said, "Oh yeah, just write a check from your old account for the whole balance, and then use mobile deposit here. We'll show you how to use mobile deposit." And of course, I didn't have that with my old bank. My old bank was just the local bank, so it was a luxury. And they said, "We'll show you how to use it." I mean, it's like, you don't need to show me how to use it. I mean, I understand how to follow directions and use an app anyway. And I deposited it. Oh, well, that's your first deposit, and it's over $1,000. So we're going to have to put that on hold for a week. I called them furious, and they said, "Oh, sorry, there's nothing we can do." And that relations manager she actively avoided contact with me after that. So that's fun. Thanks, Bank of America.
I mean, was it above $10,000?
No, it's just an internal policy.
okay.
And then the first transaction in an account always takes scrutiny. And then after that, another reason why I hate them, I'm just going to roll through these lists here. I tried to deposit a check that was made out to a legal alias that is for my name because I run a business. And the branch manager gave me a very, very hard time and said, "This will be the only time that I'll let you do this." And it was like a $75 check. Like, dude, it's not a big deal for you. And I was told, never again. You have to sign up for an expensive business banking account with us from now on. Like, I have legal proof that this is me, but no.
But, like, making Bank of America money. Because that's what they want.
That is, in fact, what they want.
They want his money.
I can't say I've ever had any problems with my bank. I'm with a state credit union, and
That's because
pretty great.
It's because of credit union. Credit unions are nice because
But, like, also,
they're good.
credit unions, ATMs,
ATMs, ATM fees.
I can't say I ever use ATMs all that often.
depositing. You can't deposit an ATM anywhere.
I always deposit at my bank whenever I get my paycheck.
But, like, where's that bank up here?
It's not.
That's the problem.
But I can't say I've ever gotten any checks to deposit.
Didn't you get that one from like the thing
Oof,
you did?
big broke Mike.
No, it was mailed home to me.
Oh.
So I got to deposit it at home.
But like even then, ATMs are just nice because what if the bank's closed?
Well, okay. Checks, phone app,
Checks phone.
cash, ATMs.
Yes, checks phone app because checks take the picture.
Take a
rip it
picture.
up.
It's not that hard. Just like put it in the account. Just do it.
My name's Louis.
My name's Louis. Just deposit the check with the phone app.
My name's Louis, but I was killed by a Chinese syndicate in the plot of a movie that you guys do not know about as listeners.
God.
Are we going back to our movie
No,
plot?
we're not. We're not.
We
We're
do
not.
not have time for that. That is a giant can of worms.
Next
that's
episode.
next episode.
Next episode.
We dive into
Another
our
episode,
movie.
not next episode. Another episode, sometime.
some episode in the near future, you guys will hear about Roses Under the Cherry Blossom, the cinematic masterpiece en route from Michael and Alavi Studios.
From the producers of The Room.
From the producers of Sleepdrunk.
Basically the same thing.
I mean, you're not wrong there, Alex. The Room is just 90 minutes of Tommy Wiseau shouting at a camera.
I did not do it. I did not hit her.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Does Tommy Wiseau have a career?
No, that was his only movie.
You know, I'm going to start using that. That's a new saying I'm just going to whip out whenever there's just a situation that does not warrant it at all. Oh, hi, Mark.
I did not hit her. I did not do it. I did not.
I did not.
This is bullshit.
Hold on. He was born, it says on his Wikipedia page, in Europe. It just says born, Europe.
It doesn't even give us a year. How old
does
is
that
Tommy
exclude
Wiseau?
Switzerland?
He's an enigma. He was just born in Europe at a point in time.
Tommy Wiseau was born, guys.
He was born.
What if he wasn't? What if he was just...
It's all a cover-up.
Yeah, it could just be a cover-up. Tommy Wiseau could be the next false god.
See, but here's the thing. I feel like if it was a cover-up, then like they would have had to be really precise. It would have been like, oh yeah, he was born in Zurich at this hospital exactly 3:57 p.m. in 12.6 milliseconds.
Maybe that's what Tommy Wiseau wants you to think.
Maybe it is what Tom... Like, I mean, look at his face. We'll put Can we put a picture of Tom Wiseau in the show notes?
We will put... We'll link his Wikipedia
Yeah,
article.
all right, we'll
in
link
case you
Tommy
couldn't Google
Wiseau's
it.
Wikipedia page for reference. That is a picture. That bow tie, that's a big bow tie. It's a really big bow tie. It's a big bow tie, listeners.
You can view the show notes at sleepdrunk.net/show-notes/1.
Yes. And in addition, though, if you are using Overcast, because that's what Forecast do.
Or Google Podcasts.
Yeah. Well, if they're not available in your listener for whatever reason, then yes.
Remember to follow us on our social media pages. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at SleepDrunkPC. And remember to leave us a follow, leave us a like, and
This isn't YouTube. Don't tell them.
they can like our Instagrams.
You know what? Okay, they have freedom of choice. They will do what they please.
They
Although-
will. But it's up to them. It's up to the listener.
It is. It is up to you to like, subscribe,
Like, subscribe, and share.
I mean, here's the thing.
like, subscribe, comment, and
Here's the
share.
thing. Okay. If you can subscribe to us on your favorite podcast player. I know some podcast players. Actually, yeah, that's just an RSS feature. They can subscribe.
Do it if they want.
Well, add us to your RSS feed if you so choose, and yeah.
Remember, your feedback is very important to us. So leave us comments, emails, suggestions, any way you can reach us.
May I just say, Michael, you sound like the back of a fast food receipt.
Maybe I am just a fast food receipt.
It's like the Walmart receipt where they're like, take the survey, your code's on the front, here's the link. But no.
Or the
So
low survey.
we'll go through our email addresses. We can be contacted by email at our individual email addresses. Mine is alex@sleepdrunk.net.
Mine is Alavi, ALAVI, at sleepdrunk.net.
Mine is Mike at sleepdrunk.net.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Sleep Drunk. Remember that the first person or people, we haven't decided yet, to guess the song of the day on any of our social media or via email have a chance at a shout out in the next episode. The Sleep Drunk podcast can be found on any of your favorite podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. We'll catch you next week.
Catch you next week.
Catch you next week.
Michael's still a prostitute.